More than a month since a video went viral showing a police officer striking a 16-year-old girl multiple times in the leg during an arrest. The video caused a big debate in the local community, with many demanding the officers involved be fired.
Today we learned that won't happen. Police Chief Mike Yankowski says while mistakes were made, there were, quote, lessons learned. Kiara Hay joins us now live in the newsroom. So Kiara, what is next for the officers?
Yeah, the officers will remain on the force, but they're not completely off the hook. During the press conference today, Chief Yankowski went into detail about all the mishaps that took place during the arrest and the punishment these officers now face. The video is hard to watch. Officer Lindsay Howley is seen striking a 16-year-old girl in the leg a total of 17 times in 20 seconds. The viral video sparked a heated debate on whether the police were following protocol or if it was too much. Today, Lansing Police Chief Mike Yankowski said it was both.
At the end of the day, the bottom line is that we could have done better in this situation.
The chief says while hitting the girl with a closed fist was protocol, Officer Howley should have used another technique when it was clear that that tactic wasn't working. Howley now faces a 3-day suspension for a total of 30 hours with no pay, and she will have to complete 10 hours of additional training. Chief Yankowski says Officer Bailey Uberoth didn't call for backup at the appropriate times and did not secure the girl properly into her handcuffs. He will also complete additional training and will be on probation for the next 6 months. But ultimately, the chief says their actions were rookie mistakes.
These were not mistakes of the heart. They were mistakes of inexperience.
Uberoth joined the force 6 months before the incident, and Officer Howley 13 months.
One incident does not define these officers. One incident doesn't define this department.
But will it define the teenage girl? Right now, she is still at an Ingham County youth home facing apprehension and resisting arrest charges. We spoke with a family lawyer who says the teenager's mother, Tanya Lilly, appreciates Yankowski admitting his officers were in the wrong, but is disappointed with the light punishment they received. So today we learned the officer's fate, and tomorrow we may learn the teenage girl's. She will face an Ingham County judge tomorrow morning. And tonight the group Black Lives Matters has just responded to the chief's decision, saying, quote, by charging the victim of the assault and not the officer committing the assault, LPD has demonstrated that police are held to a lower standard of conduct than civilians, end quote. Lauren Sherry, back to you.
Well, the teenage girl at the center of a Lansing police controversial arrest video will stay in a youth home until her jury trial in September. Her family expected her to be released on a tether today, but a judge denied that request. Kiara Hay was in the courtroom. She's here for you now live in our studio. Kiara, what does the girl's family have to say?
To put it plainly, her mother is disappointed in about more than one thing. She feels her daughter needs therapy, not more time in custody. And yesterday we found out what will happen to the 2 officers involved in her daughter's arrest, and she isn't happy about that either.
So you're somebody who likes to seek attention. Well, you have my undivided attention.
Strong words from Judge Garcia as he explains why the 16-year-old girl must remain at a youth home for at least another month.
While you're sitting in the detention center waiting placement, you got to think about what exactly is it that you want us to do for you.
For the girl's mother, Tanya Lilly, that answer is simple. She wants her daughter to come home and go to therapy. And she says that keeping her in custody isn't fair.
She hasn't even had a long criminal history.
But according to the judge, it was long and substantial enough. We learned that the girl initially had a run-in with authorities when she brought a knife to school following threats on social media. She was then transferred to an alternative high school but continued to skip classes and didn't earn any credits. She also tested positive for marijuana and wouldn't come home for a month.
She's not a hardened criminal. She's a young girl that has made some bad decisions. We all have.
Including the 2 officers involved in the arrest. Yesterday, Police Chief Mike Yankowski said both officers were in violation at some point during the incident. Officer Bailey Uberoth is on probation for 6 months and will receive additional training. Officer Lindsay Howley, the one seen punching the girl in her leg 17 times in 20 seconds, will get 3 days unpaid. Lilly believes Officer Howley should be fired, but she's not. So instead, Lilly is focusing on her daughter, who now faces a felony that carries a 2-year sentence. The teenage girl will be back in court, this time in front of a jury on September 6th. The family's lawyer mentioned that yesterday Chief Yankowski said that one act doesn't define the officers involved, and they're hoping that the court feels the same way towards this teen who they say is dealing with emotional issues. I'll continue to follow this story. Lauren, back to you.